Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Ryan, my teammate is Bianca, and our permissionless hackathon submission is CurationPro, a decentralized curation protocol. The problems we're trying to solve around curation are one, a lack of ownership. Curation ownership should mean controlling what's listed, who can contribute to what's listed, and who can refine it. Two, low engagement. Curation is community driven by nature, and without community influence, people are less likely to consume. And three, curator ambiguity. Curated content as it stands now provides no insight to who is curating a list and why. Our solution for these issues: creating a protocol that encourages engagement, customization, and true ownership of any curated list. Example use cases can be a list of permissionless satellite events, a list of best barbecue spots in Austin, a playlist of hackathon-worthy tracks, or really any curated list that you can think of. Our implementation is fairly robust, but ultimately it comes down to three key components. First is curator tokens. Curator tokens are what allow a list owner to limit or open access to list contributors. A crate. A crate is the list itself. This will keep a record of what list items have been proposed, allow listed, rejected, or removed. Poll registry. Poll registry is how token holders can settle disputes and keep the list true to its original goal. So let's go through some scenarios to hopefully paint a better picture of how this works. Scenario 1 is the most basic scenario. I'm a user, I want to create a personal list for myself. Steps to do that would be creating a curator token. A curator token is really just an ERC20 token that I will stake to put an entry on my list. This ensures that I'm the only user that can contribute to this list because the gate is this curator token, and I haven't shared these curator tokens with anybody. One of the key things here is that this is an on-chain list and you're not tied to the platform or app or dApp that you're creating it on. Scenario 2 shows us opening up access to our list. Say I meet Bianca, she's been in Austin longer than I have, and she has a lot of really great happy hour spots to recommend too. I can open up access to her by sharing with her these curator tokens, and then she can start contributing to this list as well. One of the key things in this scenario is that you can really open up contributor access as little or as much as you want based on how many tokens you're sharing. The list specifies a minimum number of tokens that you have to stake to add to this list. So if adding a list item costs 10 curator tokens and I only give Bianca 100 tokens, that means she's limited to only adding 10 things to this list. Keep in mind that if she does stake tokens to add something to the list, it'll remain on the list until she decides to pull it off and reclaim those tokens. So moving on to scenario 3. This is the most complex scenario, but it's also probably the coolest. So using the same example of my happy hour in Austin list, I opened up curation to a lot more people to add to this list. While we get a lot of great happy hours out of this, things could start straying away from its original intent. Say one of our users suggests a happy hour in Houston, but that's not the original intention of this list. It was supposed to be happy hours in Austin. So another token holder can choose to stake tokens and challenge that. This is a token holder taking initiative to keep the list curated and tailored to match its original intent. What happens here is that once this user challenges, a poll gets created. A poll is how we settle these disputes. So we let the community decide. Any token holder can come in and vote if they think that this item should or should not be on the list. One really cool thing is that this vote is token weighted. So if a certain token holder feels very strongly that this should not be on the list, then they can reflect that by how many tokens they stake in this poll. While people are committing votes, no one can see anybody else's vote. Then it goes into a reveal period where votes are revealed. This is where it'll actually do the tallying and determine whether this listing should stay or should not stay on this list. Once the poll has completed, a few things happen. Whichever voters voted for the losing opinion lose their staked tokens. That goes into a reward pool and split amongst the winners. Also, the original proposer and challenger staked tokens go to whichever of the two won the poll. And lastly, if the poll determines that this item does not belong on this list, then it's removed. This way we can track which users have been most active, which have been most accurate, and they get rewarded by having more influence on the list itself. Some highlights from the protocol. One is ownership. These lists are entirely represented on chain. Take your curated lists to whichever platform will have them. Gone are the days where your list or playlist is stuck on the platform that you created it on. Access control. The protocol enables an owner to grant access to other curators as little or as much as they would like. Token weighted voting. Indicate how strongly you agree or disagree by the number of tokens you stake. Reputation tracing. Any given user can have their reputation traced in this community by how they voted, how often they were right, and how many proposals they've made that have made it on the list. Credibility. Newbies can gain credibility and influence by voting accurately and participating in the curation process. Also, bad actors will eventually get flushed out by losing curation tokens to vote results and inaccurate proposals. Customizable. Owners can decide on staking amounts, application periods, commit reveal period lengths, how a curator token gets dispersed, whether it's paid or not, etc. And scalability. Users can use this protocol for themselves or any number of curators. So that's been a quick rundown of the CurationPro protocol, how it works, and what benefits you get from using it.